I feel like there is definitely a line, but I think remember your privilege and remember that you're a white person in a black person's space. Just be normal, like, just be yourself. If you have questions, ask them.
Don't change your behaviour for anybody. Like my example of being in school, don't do that. It's embarrassing. And you could come across as like, I don't know, if you're following a stereotype and you talk in a type of way to fit in with somebody, don't do that, because it can just, it's not you.
Just be normal. Literally, just be normal. Just be yourself. Like, some of my favourite white friends are what you call the whitest guys. Like, couldn't be more different from me if they tried. So, like, they speak the way they speak. They don't try and change themselves just to be my friend. They're just them. But the thing is, I appreciate them for that. It's like, cool, this is you, innit? Yeah? I like you for you. You know what I mean? You speak a bit weird, you know. You're into different music than I am. But you know what? That's what I like about you. That's why you're my friend. It's that difference. Because if I wanted people like myself, I got a ton of black mates. Do you know what I mean? I got a ton of black mates.
Don't need any more.
I don't need any more. But it's like, nah, you're different. Right, like, don't try and literally just be yourself. For the most part, again, I speak for myself, and like my reality based on the black people I know, we're really inviting of friends of different races.
Yeah, I suppose my advice is just, it might sound a very plain and basic thing, but just approach them like you would a white person. Ask them the same questions that you would ask a white person. What, you know, who are they? You bond over interests, like a lot of us humans do, and then as you get closer and as you realise whether you two are compatible as friends, then you can probably start to venture off into exploring the differences in cultures.
You're saying, like, kind of don't just focus on the race.
Don't just focus on the race.
Treat them equally and get to know them equally. And I think it's like, for a black person, white person, and everybody else, you kind of brought up different. So kind of go in there with I always say like a blank fold, because whatever you've been brought up with, sometimes people say, can affect your judgment on a black person or a white person. So actually get to know the person, get to know each other, get to know their culture, get to know where they're from, get to understand them, and then your friendship, you'll see, will grow, because you understand each other in a sense. You know the stuff. You'll know if they're hurting or something that they've heard, or somebody says something in your presence already because you know that person.
So you're saying, like, treat everyone as like a blank canvas.
Yeah.
Don't go in thinking with all these prejudices.
And I've heard and I've seen, yes, and you see it on TV, you've seen things, and you may think, well, no, well, I've been told or I've seen, that's what black people do. No, not all black people do that. We're not all the same.
We have both a pair of eyes, we have a nose, we have a mouth, we have ears. So when people are like, well, I haven't got nothing in common with anybody, and well, you actually have. It's you choose not to see. Again, it's mindset. So I think mindset is everything. So I would say, you know, really do some internal investigating and just have a look and have a look at, if you do believe that there are barriers, you know, why are there barriers? You know, and I would say, you know, to reach out to people. There's so much, so many resources online. There aren't many excuses. There aren't many excuses. So I'd say get out there, you know, submerge yourself in difference. You know, like now it's not cool, you know, to be uneducated, in the sense of, I'm not talking about academics. Academics and education, I think, are two separate things. You can be academic, that's great, awesome, do your education. But like in terms of education, in terms of like cultural understanding, like language, you know, submerging yourself in something outside of your comfort zone. But I have a saying that says, you know, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. If you're comfortable in your own little small bubble, you know, in some suburban area, then that's awesome. However, if you want to experience real life, get out of that place, have some conversation with people who don't look like you.
So you think life begins at the end of your comfort zone?
At the end of your comfort zone, that's where life starts.